Yo, yo, yo. Welcome back to another trade review video. This is a redraft trade in week 11/12 of the 2023 fantasy football season. Before we dive into the trade and kind of talk about what went down, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel for more fantasy football content. And let's get right into it. So in these videos, I like to review trades that I make in my actual fantasy football leagues, so you can kind of see like what really happens. And like in your league, maybe your trade deadline is approaching, or maybe it passed already. But either way, I like to hear what trades are going down in leagues. So it was a huge trade actually. This is a redraft 12-team non-PPR one quarterback league. We got like one QB, two running backs, two receivers, a tight end, a flex, and then we do have a kicker and a defense. I don't want to talk about it. I'm the commissioner, but I started this league like 11 years ago. We just always had a kicker and a DST. But I digress. Let's get into the trade. My team, the Bungling Buffaloes. Let's just kind of get into week 11 here. Let's just show you where I'm at as a team. So a couple weeks ago, week 10 on November 7th, I traded away Ramondre Stevenson and Jahan Dotson for Jamar Chase. That was the main player. And I also got Tajay Spears thrown into the deal, as well as a Derrick Henry handcuff. I don't have Henry, but if something happened to Henry, he'd be like a league-winning type of player. I needed wide receiver help. I got running back depth, and Jamar Chase is one of the best players in all fantasy. So I'm like, all right, I'll take that deal. I had a good week. And also I had Joe Burrow on my team as my quarterback. I had a good week with Burrow and Jamar Chase against the Texans. And then we have Thursday night against the Ravens. And what happens? Joe Burrow, his hand is destroyed, and he's out for the year. That's going to affect Jamar Chase's value. So what did I do? I'm thinking, how do I get out of this Jamar Chase situation where he got in the end zone, got 7.2 points, but my Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase stack is dead. I'm worried about Jamar Chase. He's a talented player, but with Jake Browning at quarterback, this offense is going to be a lot different, a lot less points, and Jamar Chase is not going to be the player, have the ceiling that he has had historically. So what do? I go to the person in my league that I know is a Bengals fan, and this is why it's important to know your league mates, because I know that this person I traded with is a diehard Bengals fan. And Jamar Chase, even though he has some red flags now, I'm sure he saw Jamar Chase's name come through in the trade offer, and just his brain just lit up. His eyes lit up. He probably was just like, oh my God, I'm going to get like my favorite player, Jamar Chase. And that was like kind of the reason as to why I started these trade talks, okay? And in return, so I ended up trading him Jamar Chase, Drake London, and Kenneth Walker. And in return, I got Austin Ekeler, Tank Dell, and Russell Wilson. It is important to note here that I made this trade after the Thursday night game in week 11, but before the Sunday games. The trade didn't process until Monday after week 11 because Jamar Chase had already played. So Kenneth Walker wasn't injured at this point, and Austin Ekeler didn't look like he lost a step in that Packers game for some reason. So we'll get into all this later. We'll dive into it. But this is the trade as a whole. I think initially I sent an offer including Demario Douglas instead of Drake London. But he wanted Drake London. He countered, and I was like, sure, bet, we'll do that. So I was fine giving up Jamar Chase and Kenneth Walker. I threw in Drake London because Drake London is a wide receiver where it's like he'll have his games, but you never know when to start him. Their offense is just weird. And Kenneth Walker, he is an elite talent, but he needs the big play. He's splitting a lot of time on the field with Zach Charbonnet, and he has a tough matchup to finish the season here. So if you look at his schedule, San Francisco, Dallas, San Francisco again, Philly, Tennessee, Pittsburgh, like even like where any of these defenses are exploited, it's through the air. So like it's a lot of tough matchups for Kenneth Walker. Not someone I was looking to like have to sell, but like someone I was willing to get rid of. And to get Austin Ekeler in return to sort of replace him, it was kind of like, all right, let's do that. Like I know against the Packers, let me pull him up over here. He didn't have a great game. It was a good matchup. And he had a breakaway run where he just looked slow. Like he like broke up the left sideline, and he just got chased down so easily. He looked like a fullback. It was so weird. But I think Austin Ekeler is the better player still. This is a non-PPR league, but he still passing game involvement matters. And he has a couple matchups in there that are maybe a little better. I mean, his schedule doesn't look. I mean, Baltimore, New England, Denver, Las Vegas, Buffalo, Denver again. Denver's been better on defense, but than they were to start the year. Not giving up 70 points every week anymore. But I consider that an upgrade at running back. And then Jamar Chase to Tank Dell. you know, on paper it looks like a downgrade, but with the way CJ Stroud has been playing and with Jamar Chase losing Joe Burrow, Tank Dell might be one of these guys where it's like he might have been viewing him as a sell high, but really I'm just buying high, and he's going to continue to play well. The last few weeks here, I should probably look in standard here. The wide receiver 1, 12, and 3. Over 20 points in 2 of those games, 13 points in the other, 12.9 in the other, 11, 14, and 10 targets. I know there's been some injuries to their receiver core, but he's establishing himself as one of the better young talents in the league, and certainly the number one in that offense. And he's got some matchup. I know the Jets, that's a tough matchup, and Cleveland is a good defense, but he's playing Tennessee twice in the playoffs. And he's hot. He's on a heater. So I don't know. At the end of the day, this was a good trade for me, I think, because I also did get Russell Wilson in the deal. Definitely not a solution where it's like, oh, my quarterback issue is solved. I have Russell Wilson, but just someone that I got thrown into the deal where, it's a guy I can use. This week I did pick up Jordan Love to play against the Lions because Russell Wilson is playing Cleveland. But moving forward, Russell Wilson is someone who I'll be able to play, maybe Houston, the Chargers, the Lions, the Chargers again. Those are matchups where he could be good for fantasy. So if you just take a look at my team now as it stands, I just came off an ugly loss, but I'm 8-3, tied for first in record. I'm number 3 because of the scoring tiebreaker. But we already got CMC. We're pairing him with Austin Ekeler. Jalen Waddle has been a huge disappointment, but Tank Dell is probably going to take over as sort of my go-to wide receiver. Waddle is the 2. I picked up, OBJ this week off waivers just to see what happens with Mark Andrews out. Demario Douglas he'd be better in a PPR, but he sees solid volume. JSN, we'll see how his season progresses. And interesting enough, I traded away Kenneth Walker, and I had Zach Charbonnet already. So I'm going to be able to start Charbonnet because it's looking like Ken Walker is doubtful as of this recording on Wednesday, and they play tomorrow on Thanksgiving. At tight end, we got Taysom Hill and Cole Kmet. Those are 2 guys I can just play based on the matchup, and hopefully one of them will be productive. Yeah, it sucks losing Joe Burrow, and I really like that Joe Burrow Jamar Chase stack, but I think I salvaged it pretty well. Quarterback is still a question mark, and a lot of teams in this league, it's a 12-team league, and a lot of them have 2 quarterbacks for some reason. So it makes it a little rough. Derek Carr was probably the next best option on the waiver wire. But I think we're doing okay. I think we're all right. And at the end of the day, I gave up a lot of good players, Jamar Chase and Kenneth Walker. Those are proven talents at the position to be good, and Drake London has his own value. But if you just take Jamar Chase and Kenneth Walker, and you give me Austin Ekeler and Tank Dell, I think even though Austin Ekeler, I don't know if he's dealing with an injury or what was going on. He looked really just slow in that game against the Packers. But even before that game, he had been good for fantasy. Since he came back from injury, this is non-PPR scoring here. He's been good. So I think that's an upgrade at running back. And you can say okay, I gave a worse running back for a better running back, so I have to give Jamar Chase for a worse receiver. But I might have upgraded at both. And I got Russell Wilson as well. It sucks losing that wide receiver depth, but Drake London is one of those guys where it's always a trap. Whenever you start him, it's shoot, he gets 5 points, gets 4 points. And then when you don't start him, he'll put up, 14 points. And you're just I don't know how to predict what this guy's going to do. Their offense is so weird how they utilize their players. But yeah, Jamar Chase, if you look at, this is the one game I got with him in the stack, and then I played him here, and that's all I got of Jamar Chase. So, yeah, it kind of is what it is. But Russell Wilson, he's had some solid, okay performances. Not great, but in a spot start, he can do okay. And then here's kind of what I mean about Drake London. Really only 1 game, 2 games maybe that you're happy with. So he's got the name, he's got the talent. In Dynasty, I love him, but just until that offense gets a little more clarity, and I think that's going to happen once they get a new coach, he's going to be hard to roster and play. So anyways, let me know what you think about this trade. I think it was good. I like to do these videos just for fun to kind of share with you guys what I'm doing in my leagues. And hopefully your trade deadline hasn't passed so you can make some fire trades as well. But thanks for watching, yo. I appreciate it. Happy Turkey Day. And I'll talk to you guys later. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe. And check out my starts of the week videos each and every week where I give you some actual fantasy advice. With that being said, I'll see you guys later. Peace out.